Hey guys, Cozy Coda here talking about another video on Halo and progression of this beta, where it's going to end up when the actual campaign gets released. Actually coming up pretty soon, depending on when this video comes out. I think it should be probably a couple days from the video. So I saw a few things on 343's threads kind of talking about the next coming phase of Halo Infinite and kind of what's going to be after the beta. So I noticed a few things and wanted to bring it up to the community here. There was talks about new customization options, which typically does refer to microtransactions. I know the battle pass would probably just be there as a normal thing as well. That's not really going to be touched too differently. But it looks like nothing really new is going to be coming into Halo after the beta when the campaign gets released. I'm seeing that stuff like weapons, the maps, the challenges, the bonuses, all these things that I was hoping to get upgraded and hoping to get new maps in general for multiplayer, maybe a couple of different challenges. I'm not sure 100% if this is concrete and set. From what I understand, it looks like they're kind of set on microtransactions more than anything else, and sticking with what we have right now in multiplayer beta. So kind of a bummer. As far as maps go, just a quick note on that, I'm kind of, enjoying the maps and everything. Like Streets is still one of my favorite maps. I was commenting on somebody on YouTube just yesterday actually, and we were talking about the theme, the old school Halo 1 theme, and it made me think about the old school Halo maps for multiplayer. And one thing that popped out for me was how generic these maps in Halo Infinite are. Back in the day with Halo 1, I remember there was like a winter multiplayer map, and it was kind of cool to see that and kind of get that difference from that. It was just kind of a nice mixture of themes that we don't really have in Halo Infinite. I didn't think about this. Again, I've just been kind of enjoying the gameplay because I do love the gameplay. I think it actually is one of the best gameplay out there as far as first-person shooters right now in a basic multiplayer game. Yeah, it's kind of a letdown to know that what we got in the beta might be pretty much exactly what we'll be seeing going forward when the campaign gets released. But I was hoping for something new as far as like maybe new maps, new modes. I know there's been a lot of talk about the limited amount of modes that we have. So being on Reddit, I've just been talking to other people about all the different modes that used to be there that could come back. Like modes like Team SWAT, Team Slayer. These are kind of the classics that I would love to see come in. I'm sure they might actually make an appearance as possibly events, which honestly would kind of suck. I don't really want to see them as events. I would rather them be just set modes that you can just choose and pick from. It might be wishful thinking. It would be a great thing to have though, and I think that would make a lot of players happy, especially the OG players. To take them away or not even add them at all, it's kind of ridiculous to me. I really hope down the line that we get those into the game soon. They're definitely the most popular modes that my friends and I used to play on, and definitely the most recognizable modes. Whenever I talk to anyone about Halo, Halo multiplayer specifically, SWAT team always comes up, Slayer comes up. I'm not really a big fan of that limited amount of modes right now, so I'm hoping that at least gets changed. And I'm not sure what's going to happen after the beta, but from what I'm seeing, it doesn't seem like a lot's going to change. So if it does, I'll definitely keep you guys updated. Yeah, kind of a bummer to hear that today. Always looking at this kind of stuff and just kind of keeping up to date with Halo news. I really don't, want to get too sidetracked. I do also just want to enjoy the game itself, but I wanted to push this message out to you guys. If we can spread the word as much as possible, maybe provide more feedback to 343. I know they do listen to our feedback. As far as the microtransactions, I don't expect that to change. I don't really mind paying for certain things. Makes sense. I mean, I do know companies need to make money. I do like to support games and companies and products that I do enjoy, so it makes sense to give them a little extra cash for, say, a awesome skin or gun skin or whatever it might be. And I was really just hoping for maybe something new as far as at least maps. Right now, the maps that we have, like I mentioned, are super generic. I really do enjoy the gameplay for Infinite so far. I think it's actually a lot of fun to play. I actually really didn't get into the other previous two Halo multiplayer games, Halo 5 and Halo 4. I kind of stayed away, still really into, 1, 2, and 3, mainly Halo 3 as far as multiplayer goes. There's a couple of Halo maps that I really enjoyed, specifically in Halo 3. Like the map Snowbound was actually really cool. It just had kind of a different vibe to it. It wasn't like the best map, but I mean, at least it was different. It had a different theme to it. That was enough for me to be interested in it. So I guess I just wanted a little variety in their style of mapping, and for me, I didn't really get that. So they all kind of just blend in together. Like I mentioned, like Streets has a different vibe to it, but then there's also everything else. Like the big team maps aren't really diverse as well. They kind of blend in. Maps like Sand Trap was honestly pretty intense usually, especially with how massive that map was and how many different places there were to hide, especially for snipers. But in general, using vehicles in that map was kind of a guarantee for most players, I feel like, at least for my team. So it was just kind of a very interesting way to play. The maps here that we have is just not really the same. Still fun, I'm not going to pretend pretend like they're not fun to play, especially on a big team. It's just, you know, they're kind of generic. They get old really quickly, and they don't have a lot of places to really gather your team. Kind of have ambush moments or have sniper moments. They're all just kind of spread out, and that might be the whole point of those maps. But a map like Behemoth, for example, is not the most fun to play on, even though it seems like it would be. There's a cool vibe there, but it just doesn't have a lot of places to maneuver. It just also has a very standard area for your teams to kind of settle in, and then you kind of don't have much time to really get creative in that map. You know, and obviously if you're playing with online players who don't know what they're doing, it's pretty much just a mess. And if you have a vehicle, you can pretty much own it every time. So I really wish I could have seen a difference in map design from developers, at least for this coming game. I was excited to get into the beta. I didn't even know it was coming, and I got pretty disappointed. But at the same time, I didn't really focus that much on those elements, obviously, when I started. But now that I'm taking time to actually look at the game and playing it more, and now getting ready for the campaign, I guess I was just hoping for more. So if anything else changes, if we get any more news, I definitely will update you here on YouTube. But yeah, just wanted to share that really quick. If this is your first time watching the video, guys, please hit the like button, hit subscribe. It really does help. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers right now. I would really appreciate it. All right, until next time, guys. Yeah.